Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Murders of Karlov Manor action. Today we're playing a Doppelgang deck. I don't know if that's exactly what you want to call it, but we're playing around this new card, Doppelgang, which is a triple X and 1 blue, 1 green sorcery that says, for each of X target permanents, create X tokens that are copies of that permanent. Now, you think, how can we break this card? This card is so expensive to cast, and so the real cheaty way to go around it is, well, cast it multiple times, first time copying some lands, and then also discounting your spell. So how are we going to discount it? We're basically playing a Mindsplice Apparatus deck. If you forgot what this card does, is a 4-mana flash artifact that at the beginning of each of our upkeeps, we put an oil counter on it, and instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less for each oil counter on Mindsplice Apparatus. So if we can get Doppelgang and we can cast it targeting some of our lands and maybe a Mindsplice Apparatus just for like maybe 3 in X or 2 in X, you know, that's going to ramp us up pretty quickly, because the next turn we're going to get 2 mana discount from the new additional Mindsplice Apparatus, and we're going to have 2 additional lands. But you might ask, how do we cast it multiple times? Well, we have a really kind of sneaky tech here. We're playing green. We're basically playing an Azorious Mindsplice Apparatus kind of control list, but we're playing green so we can use Dryad's Revival, which is a really good card with Mindsplice Apparatus here, because, well, it's going to cost us basically 1 green to return target card from your graveyard to your hand, and it has flashback. So we can do this twice for 1 green mana. So we can go ahead, cast our Doppelgang, return it back to our hand for 1 green mana, cast it again, return it, cast it again. So this allows us to really kind of cycle things out quite a few times, which is very nice. And then ultimately, the silly kind of win con that I came up with for this deck is, obviously we can use Doppelgang to copy any target permanent, so we can copy our opponent's stuff. So if they have some really good creatures, we can go ahead and target them. Again, legendaries you can't really target super well, so might be less good in that regard. But the strategy I have here is we're playing Tatyova, Steward of the Tides, with double green and 1 blue. It's a 3/3 land. Creatures you control are flying, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you have 7 or more lands, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. So this means when we cast our second Doppelgang that's massive, and we target several of our lands and they come in as 3/3s, well, they come in and they become 3/3s because they'll trigger Tatyova. So this is kind of the win con in the deck that I came up with. Besides that, we're just playing a bunch of cards that work well in this kind of Mindsplice Apparatus, stall out the game, sweepers, life gain, card draw, removal. And then there's other good cards that work really well with Mindsplice Apparatus, which is White Sun's Twilight, Sweeper that makes Toxic Mites, and Silver Scrutiny, which can allow us to draw a bunch of cards for just 2 mana. So that's the idea of the deck. Let's go ahead and see how we can do on the rank ladder. I managed to climb into Platinum, playing green, mono green the other day, and some today, so we should have some strong opponents here. But yeah, I was playing the mono green deck, and I was running into opponents playing mono black with basically mono removal or removal tribal, and then playing Shieldred and Liliana, and it's just like, oh, that's really hard to get around because you have nothing with haste, and then Liliana sticks around, takes up, makes you discard, and then can exile or sacrifice your last creature. This hand is good, but it's also bad because we don't have enough lands. I'm trying to remember how many lands I'm playing. If we play 26 lands, this is more keepable. We'll give it a go. But yeah, I just had a really good game with this deck, but I ended up I copied the enemy's the Elas Elcor and their what is that other card called? The 2 white pips life gain creature, Voice of the Blessed. And so it added a bunch of triggers to the stack, and MTG Arena eventually decided that I was repeating the same action too many times because of the triggers, that it ended in a draw. So yeah. Confounding Riddle is a new card from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It works pretty well in this deck as well, I feel like, because we can use it to like counter spells, or we can use it to dig deeper. And 4 mana tax is a pretty good amount here. Don't know what our opponent's doing. They have a bunch of mana. Okay, so they're just kind of... This does not seem... Okay, since we drew another Depopulate, I'm just gonna go ahead and rip one out here. Since we have another one, we have a backup one, and then we can also return one from the graveyard if we need to. That's what I really like about Dryad's Revival, is it's really like any card that you need in the moment. Obviously, you're paying a mana tax to get it back and recast it, but gave our opponent a treasure there, but excuse me. Honestly, probably should have not sweepered and then just held up the Confounding Riddle as a counter spell. Because then we would have... So they still have like 4 cards in hand here. They could cast something big, which would have been nice to counter. Okay, so it might just quite literally be mono black aggro with the... Oh. It's an Ayara deck. I'm assuming the card is probably built around this. Okay, we will take the Mindsplice Apparatus and hold it up and cast it on their turns. It says Flash. And also hold up our counterspell, so if they play something like Shieldred and we decide that's more important, I don't think we will do that. I think we'll just end up casting the Apparatus. But we make our opponent think twice, I guess, is the upside here. Would like a White Sun's Twilight just to gain some life, because their opponent's really not going for like creatures on board. They're kind of going for a life drain kind of strategy, which is a little tough. I'm assuming they're going to play another Arrogant Outlaw here and make us lose too. That'd be my guess, but really not sure what our opponent's doing. Okay. It's just quite literally black burn, I guess. I don't know. Very strange deck from our opponent here. They shouldn't have anything to remove artifacts in black, so it will be a very strong game for the Apparatus, potentially. I think we will go ahead and just, what was this? Deals X damage, permanent mana value. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and probably just cast a Silver Scrutiny for 3 on their turn, or just Confounding Riddle, or I don't know. Hold things up. Seems like a good strategy here. Ah, so you do the Vampire's Kiss for damage, and then you get the blood token so you can sacrifice them to cards like Fanatical Offering for more card draw, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to use the Silver Scrutiny on just drawing 3 cards. Important to note, it is a sorcery, but if you have cast it for X less than 3, you get to cast it at instant speed, or with flash, which just means basically at instant speed. Okay, that needs to go. I mean, we could have counterspelled it, but I think I would prefer to just remove it and then go for searching for a card. Confounding Riddle also puts things in our graveyard, which is kind of cool. So that we can then like dig them back out with Dryad's Revival, which is interesting. We'll take 3 damage here. I didn't want to take 6 damage though, because that doubles up the damage or life loss. Okay. Go ahead looking for some things. I would like a land, to be honest. Ooh, Experimental Augury is really good. That can help us find a land. But it is kind of sad to toss all those lands in our graveyard. I think we'll go ahead and grab this land. Proliferate that. We have 3 mana discount on all our spells, which is pretty huge. I think we'll go ahead and just depopulate. The opponent does have like a Mishra's Foundry here, which we do kind of have to be concerned about, but I don't think we can cast this for any more than just like 1 here. I'll draw 4 cards with Silver Scrutiny, I think is the plan. I could draw 3 and then hold up removal potentially, but yeah, we can do that at instant speed then. Alright. Plan made. This is a sorcery, isn't it? Okay. But yeah, Dryad's Arrival, just kind of cool because then you can go digging for stuff. We're gonna make a discard a card here. I think I might just in response Silver Scrutiny for 3, just so I get to choose what I discard a little bit more. And the next turn, I think we just go for like a Doppelgang. Discard a card. I don't think we need 2 Dryad's Revivals in hand. We can always cast it from our graveyard here. Hopeless Nightmare. Yeah, the Sweeper's not going to do much at this point because they don't have that many creatures. Probably should just play Tatyova. For a blocker, honestly. Or what we can do... I think I have an idea of what we should do here. Dryad's Revival back a... Dryad's Revival back a Union of the Third Path just to gain some life. Cast that. Now we should be like kind of cushed, or like we should have some protection against opponent doing a bunch of damage. I can do this for not enough. I can only do it for like 2, which isn't particularly great, but maybe it's good enough. But yeah, let's just do 2. Target this, and then target let's do this Triumph. Next turn we'll have so much, and then the Experimental Augury does like triple duty with the 3 Mindsplice Apparatuses. So the Augury will actually generate us mana value when it comes to casting our second Doppelgang. I think we might be able to kill our opponent next turn, assuming we live, which seems like it will check out. I think we definitely would have lost though if our opponent was playing a bit of a more competitive deck. It does seem like they're going for a kind of like no rares. Actually, that is a mythic and that's a rare, but a budget burn deck. Yep, Mishra's Foundry. I think the plan here is to cast Tatyova, and I can play this land. Now we'll animate one of our lands, which I don't think is good or bad. I don't know. Ooh, Doppelgang. So now we don't have to spend money to get it, or mana to get it back out of our graveyard, and then we can Doppelgang for that's 10 mana discount. We needed untapped land. Oh, we had the Dreamroot Cascade, but we need multiple untapped land if we want to do this effectively. I mean, we can just you know what we do? Doppelgang for... I think we can get away with 4. Do we have enough? Copy this, copy that. Copy a land. Copy a Mindsplice. Auto pay. So this is not exactly what I was hoping for, but it should still be kind of funny. Where are... Oh, did they all tap? Yeah, they are all tapped. Unfortunate. All the lands that it generated ended up being tapped because it tapped them in the casting. But now they have to discard a bunch and they're going to lose a bunch of life. Not bad. And then we can do it again next turn. And we can do it for even more mana. Oh gosh. In fact, we can just drain them out. Yeah, not being able to remove Mindsplice Apparatus gets pretty wild. And if you can't kill a Mindsplice Apparatus deck fast enough. Yep, good game. Alright, well hopefully we entertained our opponent there, because I know I had a great time, but yeah, that was wild. That is the jank that we strived for when building this deck. Let me know if there's anything. I'm thinking about doing a Mindsplice Apparatus deck with the Slime Against Humanity card, or doing a Slime Against Humanity deck with the Ransacked Lab solve case things. That way whenever you cast one, you like get one back, or you draw a card, because if you solve the case, which is like cast 3 instants and sorceries in a single turn, you solve it. So we don't have a sweeper, but we do have some card like digging with the Experimental Augury, so I think we can go ahead and keep it. We also have removal on 2, which is good. There's the sweeper. Okay, now we just need a land, our 4th land. Opponent playing green. Okay, Selesnya. Ugh. This is one of the few decks where I think Depopulate is going to be way worse against, because it's little Kamiya transients. This little light of mine. Screw you. Really don't want to get my skull pounded by a giant trampling spirit. That's got to be one of my least favorite cards from the enchantment deck, just because they can get it back so easily. Like, if it's like Tenacious Underdog, except for the enchantments deck. Would have loved a counterspell here. We managed to draw 2 of our Dryad's revivals instead of both of them, instead of our enchantments. Stop. I beg of thee to be balanced. Oh no. I think I might just be dead. I can take the Spara's headquarter, but it comes in tapped next turn. Submit 0. I could pump him with Chico's Rain of Truth, but then it's gonna... I can just put it on Calyx and I die, basically. What does this say? Calyx or enchanted creature. Okay. I thought it was only enchanted creatures. Draw your card. And then Kamiya Transients comes back because the enchantment went to the graveyard. Yeah, this one's rough. Sunfall would have been very, 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 very good. Though we would have died if this was if our Depopulate was a Sunfall, because they would have killed us this turn. Their turn 4 win. Okay. I really want to get my Mindsplice Apparatus out. And if we die, we die anyways. Like, this is gonna be an uphill battle. So I think I'm cool with taking the chances that they just kill us this turn. I don't think they will, but there's a chance. Alright, no, we're alive. For now. Your life is a resource. You gotta make use of it. Something like that. Alright, Mindsplice Apparatus. Let the nonsense begin. Sweep. Might have to take... I don't have another white force. Yeah, this is the downside of playing a 3-color deck here. Alright, we have Confounding Riddle to counter whatever they try and cast next turn. Yeah, I don't even know if we want to... Like, is this worth countering? It's gonna get massive. Whenever you cast an enchantment, so I'll put some counter on it. They have something better, like a second Calyx, right? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Catilda. It means they start... Ho 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 ho! We can cast that for 5 and start being a problem, but I think we just need to... Dryad's Revival back. Experimental Augury. Then we get to go digging. Did we play a land this turn? No. Okay, we'll play land. Oops, I didn't want to add a stop. And then Dryad's Revival back the counterspell? Or a sweeper? Just do it again. Do it again. Fuck. Why not? That is the card we're playing around. Now we have a massive discount. We do need them to not snipe the Mindsplice Apparatus, so it probably would have been wise to pick up a counterspell, just in case they have like a not an ossification. Ossification wouldn't work. Yep, this thing will hurt. Except it won't. And then I sweeper the board and gain a bunch of life next turn. You have to remove Mindsplice Apparatus. I'm having too much fun. Who let me have fun? We'll do this for 9. Gain 9. Sweep the board. Make 9 Toxic Mites. That's a 2-turn clock. We like that. We can even Dryad's Revival back like a removal spell. I think Dryad's Revival is like probably one of the best cards for the fact that we're playing like these colors. Or like what we get out of playing these colors. Can we do anything like explosive besides? Okay, our opponent concedes. Trying to think of... We have like a bunch of mana at our disposal thanks to the massive Mindsplice Apparatus. And we really had the world at our fingertips because we could get something back from our graveyard, do something with it. So yeah. Glad our opponent made it easy. I think we would have won. I'm kind of blown away though that we beat Enchantments there. I think the 4-mana sweeper was... I do think Sunfall's nice, but I think you kind of just need low to the ground sweeper. Bandit Keith fan service? Huh? Somebody's gonna have to explain that one to me. Is that a character in a show? This is such a... I probably shouldn't have kept this hand. Ooh. Ooh, wait. I'm interested. You have me very interested, opponent. I want to know what you're up to. I wonder if this is an Insidious Roots deck, or is this something else? Oh, they just want lands from the graveyard. They come in untapped, just like a massive turn. Okay. Interesting. Hate to inform you, opponent, I have removal. Yeah, we're playing... This is a very strange spell. 3 mana, exile target non-land permanent. Which is really nice, because 3 mana to just remove anything, pretty good. But the downside is it's 3 additional mana to remove creatures, but once you get your discounts rolling, just 1 mana to remove absolutely anything. So that's kind of why I play it in Mindsplice. But what are we playing, opponent? Teachings of Kieran. Okay. They don't have the mana to I never thought about this. This is literally a rare attached to a uncommon. There's a rare 4 mana sorcery that returns all lands from your graveyard. Tapped. This says tapped as well. Wow. Kind of concerned. Get rid of the Aftermath Analyst, and then we can remove the Nissa on their turn. Or something like that. We can't remove the Nissa in response to them playing land, but if they play like another one of these Aftermath Analysts, we could. Do kind of want to play the Mindsplice, though. We don't have any sweepers is the real huge problem here. They have 6 mana at their disposal, or 7 mana at their disposal, because Nissa will generate 1. I miss Landfall. It's my favorite. It made, like, ramping in green more playable. Because I think if you want to play like mono green right now, you just play Stompy. Then, I guess, if you really want to ramp, best things to ramp into Atraxa, you have your domain. So, I don't know. I don't know why I don't like the playing domain ramp. It's just, maybe it's because it's repetitive and all your value is locked into these like expensive cards, where Landfall you get value from even like your 3 drops, for instance. Interesting. 2 damage, return 2 lands from the graveyard, battlefield. They come in untapped thanks to Spelunking. They generate 2 mana from Nissa, but they also generate an additional mana from Cabaret Courtyard. They tutor up an elf because Nissa saw 2 lands enter the battlefield, or the second time she triggered. Oh my goodness. Opponent is going off. It's actually quite cool. I think they would get like completely run over by a mono red deck though. The only problem is we're playing a very slow deck, so it looks much more playable than it probably is. Now they can sack their Aftermath Analyst for their 4 mana. Yeah, we did not successfully stop them here, I don't think. Because they can do this at instant speed. Oh my goodness. Wait. Oops. Alright, I was so distracted looking at the opponent's deck, I forgot to cast Mindsplice Apparatus, so I think that's just an automatic loss. Yeah, I'm kind of aware, opponent. I held up 4 mana to do nothing. I was so distracted. I'm tempted to just shame scoop and go next. We'll just go next. They're gonna trigger a bunch of things. I don't know what their win con is, but we might be able to win. It's just, it's not gonna be a satisfying game. Would love to know what they're ramping into though. Maybe they have like Titan of Industry. Nissa, if you trigger it twice, can also find elementals, and Titan of Industry is an elemental. Finds elves and elementals. Alright, we have a sweeper, we have 2 mana removal, 3 mana card draw. We have a way to curve out, hopefully. Opponent trying to decide what they're going to keep. Jace Avatar is a bad sign. It's a bad sign. It's a bad omen for me. Never liked playing against blue. Okay. Interesting. Broker's Hideout. Holding up our removal here. They're deck thinning. We're not going to put our cast our removal on the Vicious Farmhand. We're not going to cast the Tatyova. We drew both of them. We only have 2 in the deck and we drew both of them. Oh dear god, no. Does this counter an activated spell or activated ability? We have 0 basics. I am greedy. Is that what they're playing? Is that what they're playing? Just Field of Ruin deck? Please no. I feel like you never see anyone activate Field of Ruin, so I am concerned. I'm concerned about what they're going to be doing the rest of this game. We're a greedy multicolor deck. We're not going to attack in. They could have Wandering Emperor. Just a memory deluge. This card is so ridiculously good. Well, it's pretty good. Graveyard Hate makes it worse. But we're not playing any. Vicious Farmland. Nothing worth getting lost. Okay. Interesting strategy to play Monastery Mentor with 0 protection. I mean, they probably have that 1 mana return target, or like return creatures. Return like low mana value creatures back from your graveyard, but okay. Mindsplice on their turn. What are these ambitious farmhand? I'm so confused. What their opponent's deck seems a little disjoint, but maybe I'm just not seeing the full picture. I mean, ambitious farmhand's a good card. Finding lands and guaranteeing land drops is not to be underrated.
You started this fight, but I'm going to end it.
Alright, I'm not gonna forget to play Mindsplice. I won't forget this time, I swear. Cast this just in case we draw into something we want to play. Alright, nothing huge. A little life gain can't hurt though. Opponent seems to be planning to win by killing, or with creatures. By using creatures. They're gonna Field of Ruin us. This Mindsplice Apparatus is gonna have to carry.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Hopefully they don't delete all our white lands though. I could have blocked. I was gonna depopulate. Well, depopulate means we draw a card if we keep the multicolored creature. Opponent's trying to play a little grindy kind of game with Sarah Paragon. I mean, Ambitious Farmhand was a kind of a staple in what do you call it? Mono white, like mid-range that took over for a little while. Might be a bad idea to try and Silver Scrutiny on their turn just in case they're playing counter spells, but I'm not entirely sure they are. Five loyalty on the Wandering Emperor. That's almost a first for me. Okay. The old do nothing with Sunset Revelry for 2 mana. That was interesting. Maybe they wanted to fill the graveyard for some reason. Another Wanderer, not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and try and draw 2 here. Try drawing more on our own turn, but I think on our own turn we can just cast like Mindsplice or something else. Alright, we drew into some lands. We're securing those land drops. That's what we like to see. I do this for 2. It's not particularly good, but I could get a Wandering Emperor of our own. It's not particularly good either. I think we'll just hold things up and play Mindsplice on their turn, and also hold up Confounding Riddle as a counterspell, just in case they go for the Memory Deluge.
Remember your training.
Okay. Interesting. Look, opponent, we have no mana open to counterspell you. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I don't think people will like know that Confounding Riddle was in the format. I think people just like 2 mana counterspells so much that it doesn't get played. Okay. Presumably we can do this for 3 at this point. I think that makes it worth it. So 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these. Yes. I like that. Our spells are gonna get infinitely cheaper. Farewell. That'd be so bad.
Show them how we greet our
Jump.
enemies.
Opponent doesn't seem to be playing his counter spells, which is shocking. That's why they're not playing his counter spells. Lear. Makes sense. That is not the draw I would like to have seen. Nah, we'll pass. Come on. My music stopped. This deck has such long games that the music wanted to ask if I was still there. Okay, I'm glad I did not depopulate. That would have been really bad.
Strike fast and strike
Yeah,
hard.
we'll preserve our health. What if they have any hard counter spells? Well, wait, they can't counter. They have Lear. Lear says spells are uncounterable. Oh, that's not really what I wanted to see. It is really nice knowing that spells cannot be countered. Draw a card. Okay. Depopulate. Could have drawn the card if we played her. I don't think so. Clearly they like their Leer a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. Play Tatyova. We have really nothing to lose by playing it. If they remove it, we can just hopefully find a Dryad's Revival. If we find another Doppelgang, will we... There's a chance of winning, but that's not for me. Came here to do cool stuff. Cool stuff is gone. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the deck, regardless of how the games went. We did have that one really cool game. Do think you're gonna have, like, if they have removal for Mindsplice, this is gonna go poorly. It's kind of the problem with Mindsplice Apparatus in general. And so it's good to have like protection for it. So Confounding Riddle is like a good thing to hold up for that. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff helps out a ton. Have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.